of a right-wing vibe.
Are you
the vibe I'm getting?
Mate, please, we're just having a conversation. He's a big boy. He can have a conversation if he wants. He's a big boy.
You are not connecting emotionally to the catastrophic changes that are happening right now.
The truth is that we're heading for a extinction.
And by extinction you mean?
But I mean death.
Okay. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing myself and a project that I did over a year ago in early 2022 when I went and visited an Extinction Rebellion protest to ask a few questions and get to the bottom of some very pressing issues. The reason I really wanted to go to this protest and speak to these people was because I'm rather sick and tired of these people making the lives of others a misery in order to push their ideological agenda. And even more so, I'm quite sick of seeing these people LARPing as if they're some guerrilla warfare revolutionaries who are fighting in the jungles of Cuba, when really they're backed by big governments and they're backed by the WEF and some of the biggest corporations and media entities on the planet. So with that, let's get into the clips.
Please don't heed the media, they feed to you and treat like an encyclopedia. I plead with you. There's greed in the way that they breed in you. Can you see the seething masses that take master classes with TV like they've got 3D glasses? It all passes from the asses of the stupid white men in the upper classes. I'm gonna have to write another verse at some mistake.
I got you, homie.
Please don't heed the media, they feed to you and treat like an encyclopedia. I plead with you. There's greed in the way that they breed in you. Can you see the seething masses that take master classes with TV like they've got 3D glasses? It all passes from the asses of the stupid white men in the upper classes.
Okay guys, we're here today at the Extinction Rebellion protest. It is a very peaceful protest which we love. We've already got, before we've even turned the cameras on, we've got old mate over here with the speakerphone. He's trying to stop us from getting any interviews. So clearly they don't really value discussion, don't value dialogue. But we'll see how we go, because so far it's been entertaining. There's been a few raps, a few songs. I even managed to get myself a climate change outfit, which I was really happy with. How you doing?
What you talking about?
Just about the protest, about what's happening today. Yeah. What are you guys here for?
No, I'm not the one to
These guys
ask.
are kind of right-wing, so I wouldn't like take
No, I said I'm not the one to ask.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I wanted to listen to what you were saying.
Yeah, cool. So basically what we're here for today is because we cover protests around the city, and obviously Extinction Rebellion gets a pretty bad rap in some ways because they have been known to cordon off street corners and stuff like that. So we basically wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth.
How else can people be aware that it's annoying?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
There are plenty of different ways.
That the climate, like what?
Well, for example, peaceful protests like this are fantastic. I don't trying to stop your right to do peaceful protests whatsoever. I support that, but what I'm trying to understand today is what exactly the philosophies of Extinction Rebellion are.
Oh, well then ask one of the organisers.
Oh, so you're not a part of the organisation? Yeah? Okay, cool. Cool. No worries. Now, I've made the grave error of telling our friend here my politics, but I'm a libertarian, centre-right, and he's not happy about it. Obviously, wants to crush any sort of dialogue that could be had regarding these subjects. It's quite disgraceful, isn't it? Imagine if people like this had any modicum of power in the world. What a world we'd live in. Hello, do you have a YouTube channel as well? You want to put me on your YouTube channel?
Not saying.
What's your channel?
What's yours?
Counterculture News.
Congratulations.
Cool.
I've been waiting for this chance to leave behind the daily grind for something significant. With temperatures and oceans rising. Some say it's all too late.
Was that, buddy?
This is our chance.
Was that, did you say something? Too scared?
I said you weren't here in good faith.
I'm here for the conversation. You're not here in good faith. You don't know anything about me. Doesn't want to talk. That's what happens when you can't back up your opinions though, guys. Afternoon, guys. You here for the protest?
Just so you know, this guy, I got a feeling that he doesn't think he's a bit of a right-wing troll, is what I'm guessing.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I just literally chat about what the purpose of Extinction Rebellion is. That's
I don't want to hear.
Never ever go anywhere that you want to be taken remotely serious with a disgusting mustache, a pair of sunglasses that you picked up from 7-Eleven for $10 that you for some reason didn't take off while you were speaking to the camera, and a mayonnaise stain on your t-shirt. Mayonnaise stain, mayonnaise So actually, as soon as I got to this protest, this Antifa member walked over to me and started questioning me about my politics. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a chat to him. I said, I'm, center right. I was just being honest. I would consider myself on the libertarian right. And then from that moment onwards, as you can see, he tried to not let anybody talk to me the whole time. But this is not a surprise to me because I'm aware that these people want to crush dialogue and dissent wherever possible. Free speech is antithetical to their worldview. Remember this. And guys, don't forget to sign up to my email list if you haven't already. www.rattlesnaketv.com, where I just drop weekly fire and weekly value to keep you guys armed and dangerous.
Hey guys, loved your poem before. That was awesome. When did you write that?
I wrote that in. Are you the vibe I'm getting?
Mate, please. We're just having a conversation. He's a big boy. He can have a conversation if he wants. He's a big boy. You can take a step back. He can have a conversation if he wants, okay? Basically what we're doing, mate, we have a page called Counterculture News. We cover all different kinds of protests around the city. And basically, obviously, Extinction Rebellion at times has gotten some pretty bad publicity because they've cordoned off street corners.
Like, Extinction have been doing really well.
Yeah.
We've got about 80% approval rate.
Yeah, in terms of
people who think that we should be doing more to solve the climate crisis.
Right.
It's up to 80% now.
And what exactly
Do you think we should do that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely support your right to peaceful protest.
No. Do you think we should do something about the planet burning?
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. I don't think the planet's necessarily burning.
What do you think about those bushfires that happened?
Well, I don't think you can necessarily attribute that to climate change.
Are you joking?
I think that the Morrison government had a problem with that.
Those trees haven't burned for 10,000 years.
How about the fact that the Greens didn't allow any controlled burns?
No, did you just hear what I said?
Yeah, I did.
There were rainforests that hadn't burned for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
So what do you think that means?
But also,
giving them
sorry, buddy. He's a big boy. He can chat for himself. Thank you.
When temperature rises,
yeah,
things burn.
Are you aware though that the indigenous people of the land used to do controlled burns, and that would actually stop bushfires from happening? And then ecosystems would be able to flourish in those areas. They would hunt there, then they would move to the next area. They would do another controlled burn. Do you think that the Greens are restricting that from happening?
The Greens weren't in power, mate. The Greens did not have the power to do any restrictions. It's been the Liberals and Labor who have been in power.
Look,
and the Liberals actually sacked the fire brigade in New South Wales.
Yeah, bad idea.
Yeah,
I totally agree, man.
So I'm glad you agree.
Yeah.
Because the Liberals really screwed things up.
There's a few questions I really wanted to get to the bottom of though, because as much as you think that you guys have a good approval rating, personally, I've heard some negative things about it. I think that you guys can tend to get.
You're in a little right-wing bubble.
I think you're caricaturing me.
The sad thing about it is that this viewpoint that you're promulgating.
What do you think the viewpoint is that I'm promulgating?
You're promulgating a viewpoint of the minority group that is running our country. And that
what do you think my viewpoint is?
Do you know what the minority group that's running our country is?
What do you think my viewpoint is?
What
do you think my viewpoint is?
I think your viewpoint is basically the viewpoint of the billionaires who are ruining our planet.
Which is?
Well, that global warming is a farce, it's a scam. Maybe it's something that is set up by Big Solar, which doesn't actually even exist.
I actually think that climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our generation. I think that there's copious. Well, if you let me finish my sentence, so there's copious evidence that the climate is changing and that human beings are having an impact on that. The only questions I have is regarding the cost-benefit analysis of the goals of Extinction Rebellion. So if you could outline the goals of Extinction Rebellion, if you were in power tomorrow, if you could make some sweeping changes, what would they be?
To make sure we don't all go extinct.
What would those changes be?
That's the goal. Have a livable future. A goal where we don't extinct. Where, those floods they had down in Sydney the other day? You look it up in the CSIRO, the projection for 2100 is that those floods will be one in every other day due to sea level rise.
But what would, if you could put some tangible goals...
This is serious.
I know, you can't just...
You didn't hear what I just said.
You said that there's been floods...
You are not connecting emotionally to the catastrophic changes that are happening right now.
No, I am. Believe me, I am.
It's a game to you.
But is there anything that, like a tangible policy that you would put in place?
Look,
because obviously it's going to come from policy change. Like, why are you standing here?
Do you think mass starvation is something that's a game?
No, not at all.
Okay, so why aren't you doing anything
Are you aware
about
that the poverty rates of abject absolute poverty have halved since the year 2000 to the year 2015?
abject poverty rates.
$1.90 a day. That's the UN rate of abject poverty. It's halved from the year 2000.
Are you aware that last year we had the highest on-record displacement due to climate change ever?
Yes.
17 million people displaced due to climate change.
But if you could have a cost-benefit analysis, on one side, you've got half of the... No, you have to let me finish. On one side, you've got half of the world's poverty. The world's poverty has been halved in 15 years. On the other side, you've got 17 million people. I'm talking about billions of people.
You're saying development versus environment is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Now, we're not saying that development is necessarily against the environment. We just want to make sure we're doing it in the smart way. Okay?
Yeah. So what about the impact that India and China have? Because if they don't come to the table with what you guys are saying, then there's next to no chance.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you've mentioned that, right? So India and China are, like any other country, influenced by all the other countries in the world.
What do you think about Greta Thunberg's new speech? Blah, blah.
We say no more blah blah blah, no more exploitation of people and nature and the planet, no more exploitation, no more blah blah blah.
Why are you asking me that?
Have you ever heard of a guy called Boyan Slut? Have you ever heard of a guy called Boyan Slut?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you ever follow the ocean cleanup? He wants to clean up half of the Great Pacific Patch by 2025.
Oh, right, plastic.
Yeah.
We're more concerned with, mass extinction. Yeah.
Okay, you don't think plastic has something to do with that?
Plastic is a concern, but it's not the main concern.
Right.
It's a distraction.
How about that there are more trees today in the Northern Hemisphere
You're just
than ever before?
You're just making stuff up.
Do you think that climate change is a bigger deal?
Making stuff up.
Is climate change a bigger deal than clean drinking water?
the science.
Access to clean drinking
Read
water.
the science, mate.
Is it a bigger deal? See ya. Bye. Why am I an idiot? You didn't hear what I said. Is that your girlfriend? We're idiots.
So here's one of the big problems that I have with these movements is that they say all these big grandiose statements. We want to avoid an extinction, etc., etc. But they don't actually think about the different nuances of this unbelievably complicated issue. And I'd say I was more tolerant of them a year ago than I am of them now. And you could see that I said, climate change is a big issue and I was acquiescing quite a little bit. I probably wouldn't be so charitable now because the more you research into this and the more you understand how detrimental the effects of what they're pushing would be on our way of life and on the world, and especially on the developing world, the angrier you become about this, especially when you look into the extra nefarious motives of the dehumanist Malthusians that are behind this. And if you guys want to learn more about this, then I refer you to the video that I did on Jordan Peterson's major announcement. So I obviously lost him a little bit when I started to ask questions about China and India and the other questions that I was asking. And you know what? I was probably too much of a smartass there and I could have been more tactful about that. Maybe kept him around and kept the dialogue going, but you live and you learn. But like I said, guys, this was over a year ago. And then Konstantin Kisin came out a few weeks ago and made just the most breathtaking argument about why China do not give a single shit about climate change. And if you guys want to watch that video, then I'll also leave that in the bio.
Hey guys, how was the protest today?
Good.
Was it a success?
You've been speaking with
I have. We tried to have a conversation. We came over here wanting to have a peaceful conversation. We've heard some bad things about Extinction Rebellion. We've heard some good things about Extinction Rebellion. My name's Jake. And this guy thinks I'm a troll.
Like looking for you guys to say something that can like.
I'm not.
Just ask us why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know. I want to know why you're here. And this guy thinks that he's everyone's daddy. Nobody. I'm here by myself. I have a YouTube channel. This guy thinks he's everyone's daddy.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You can walk away, buddy.
Okay, why are we here?
Why are you here? That's what I want to know.
I'm not part of the XR, so I can't answer that.
Basically, I just want to understand what exactly Extinction Rebellion stands for.
I'm not part of it.
Okay, well, you've got a downy, no means no, so... Hey guys, how was the protest today?
Yeah, I think it went well. It was really smooth. It was a great atmosphere. Lots of joyful truth speaking.
Yeah, and if you guys could say, in terms of what you were trying to achieve today, if you could enact change in one area, which one would it be? What would you do, guys, in terms of policy? Nothing? You guys don't have any policy suggestions? No policy suggestions?
Sorry, guys.
You're not a political... It's quite political, though. This is bizarre. Not one policy. They could not give me one policy change that they would like to enact. Not one. Here we go. Okay, thank you.
Extinction Rebellion have 3 demands.
Which is?
To tell the truth.
Yes, and what does that mean?
To tell the truth about the climate and ecological emergencies, to tell the truth in the newspapers, to tell the truth in the government.
Okay, well, what's the truth?
They do not represent us. The truth is that we're heading for a extinction.
And by extinction you mean?
But I mean death.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and then demand 2 is act now. So act now on the climate.
Okay, well, if we're going to act now, what are we going to do? You tell me.
We're gonna cut our CO2 emissions.
Okay.
We're going to listen to the science.
Okay, just Australia?
Everywhere, the whole world. That's what the COP26 is all about.
But what about if
the
China and
conference of
India
powers that are meeting together?
But what about if powers like China and India will not come to the table? Because it's quite obvious that they won't come to the table.
They are starting
and what
to
about
come
if
to the
if the
table.
Paris Treaty would only solve about 0.1% of the emissions issue?
Who do you represent?
I represent myself.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
independent. I like to have
Yeah.
conversations with people.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah. So, and demand 3 is binding citizens' assemblies.
Yeah.
So, worldwide citizens coming together and deciding what happens and working with nature, not against it.
Yeah.
You know, so no more mines, no more fracking, no more logging. Saving other creatures from extinction as well as human beings, koalas, sugar gliders, we've lost all our insects. You must know all this.
No, I do, but that's why I'm here to talk to you,
why
because
we're-
Extinction Rebellion gets a really bad rap
they
in the
do.
media, and they also get a good rap from your side. So I'm here to talk to you guys
And
about
I'm
exactly
here
what
as
it
a
is that you do.
citizen. I'm here as a citizen and a registered nurse. I'm a professional.
What do you think
I'm
about?
an auntie.
What do you think about? I know
I'm
you do.
traumatized about the future.
But what do you think about the fact that as soon as we got here and we were trying to have a conversation, we were shut down and we had some absolute weirdo chasing me around telling me that I can't interview anyone when I'm just trying to have a conversation?
I don't know, maybe there was some concern about right-wing media and giving us bad press, because there's been quite a lot of that about.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're just, like I say, we're just regular citizens organising ourselves. We're not fucking perfect.
And you know what?
I
I
mean?
love the fact that you guys had a peaceful protest today. You were
beautiful.
singing, you were
Yeah.
dancing,
That's why I
everybody was in unity and solidarity. You have a cause that you're looking towards, and I love that. I respect that.
Yeah.
The only problems and the only issues that I would have with Extinction Rebellion is when I've done research about it in the past, there's been such policies as grounding all planes, you know, getting to complete zero emissions by 2025.
Yeah, that's true. We need zero emissions by 2025 to stay alive.
So the issue that I have with that is in terms of a cost-benefit analysis, if we're looking at saving lives, then that will cripple the economies of developing nations.
The economy is a man-made construct. The economy is not the important thing here. Nature is the important thing here. Look, it's going to be, look what's happening now, cyclones everywhere, floods,
Right.
fires. You know, people say, oh, it's all dooming and that, but that is going to be the f***ing norm. 2019 fires is going to be the normal summer in Australia, and I don't want to live through that, and I don't want my niece and nephew to live through that, or anyone's children.
Right. Well,
I'm going to have a coffee
One,
now, right?
one more
Big
thing.
day.
One more thing. So, from the year 2000 to
have
the
a
year
tea.
2015, global poverty, in terms of abject poverty, $1.90 a day, underneath that, in terms of the UN standards, has halved. And that's largely due to rising economies in developing nations. So people aren't starving half as much as they used to be. It's an important statistic when we're talking about, you know, crippling the economies and the trade routes that we've got, and, you know, lowering fossil fuels. And
If we have a global response to the pandemic, we can have a global response to the climate crisis. So that includes everybody. And we are not safe till everyone's safe. And I'll just leave it at that.
okay, thank you so much for your interview. Have a great day. See? Conversation, guys. It's not hard to have. This lovely lady over here, I'm not sure what her name is, but she's very informed. She's got a very strong opinion. I respect it. Peaceful protest today. Congratulations to her. You know, as for the guy following us around, it's just shutting down dissent is never something you want to do, guys. You always want to have a conversations. This lady was able to back up what she was saying. I don't necessarily agree with everything she was saying. In fact, I agree with pretty much nothing which she was saying, but that's completely fine. We're two people. We're allowed to have differing points of views, and that's the way that things work. If we have these conversations, we can get to the bottom of things, guys. We can sharpen these arguments. We can get to the bottom of these philosophies, these issues, see who's right, who's wrong. Maybe we're both right, maybe we're both wrong. Conversation is everything, guys.
See, I really like her. She was a lovely lady, kind of like the hippie grandma that we all need in our lives, even though I do profoundly disagree with her on just about everything. And 3 of the things that she wanted to get rid of, and when I said that they wanted to have zero emissions, she was like, yep, zero emissions. None whatsoever. But seriously, fracking, mining, and logging, no more. If I were to sit here and explain to you all of the things that fracking, logging, and mining are responsible for in our world, then this video would go for at least 9 years. But let me just read this list that I've made. Metals, industrial minerals, coal, uranium, aluminium, iron ore, lithium, gold, diamond, rare earth elements, copper. No more logging would be no more wood. No more fracking would be no more oil or natural gas. We would have no more electricity. No more high-rises, bridges, planes, trains, space exploration, granite, marble, and anything steel. Furthermore, we would have no more asphalt, aspirin, antiseptics, cameras, cell phones, clothes, computers, sunglasses, footballs, laptops, boats, cars, refrigerators, swimming pools, toothbrushes, and wind turbine blades. So obviously this worldview is totally ridiculous. I mean, if you feel like going back to the Dark Ages, moving to the Amazon, hunting and gathering and living out your days there, then by all means, be my guest. But please don't take me with you. I don't want to come.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
And obviously these people would not know what hit them if the things that they're campaigning for actually came to pass. But here's what I think is really going on. These people, like everybody else in the world, are just searching for meaning. And there was a song at the start, I'm not sure if you guys picked up on that, but some of the lyrics were as follows.
I've been waiting for this chance to leave behind the daily grind for something significant.
Time to leave behind the daily grind for something significant. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, life is very, very difficult, and it's much harder to make something useful of yourself and to become a person of value that actually builds things and gives to the world than it is to just be somebody who just points the finger and tries to rip things down and burn things down. And unfortunately, I think that that's why people attach themselves to these ideologies. It's about being a part of something significant. It's not about the facts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you would like access to uncensored, exclusive content and to join the Rattlesnake TV community and support the channel so that I can bring the best content possible to you as often as possible, then please consider hitting the link in the bio, rattlesnaketv.locals.com, and support the channel. And if you want to watch another clip, click right here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, if you get value from these videos, then click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV.